Bringing prominent White House support to the streets of Washington, Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Wednesday visited with National Guard troops at the city's main train station as protesters chanted, "Free D.C." The latest tense interlude from President Donald Trump's crackdown in the nation's capital. "You can bring law and order to communities," the vice president asserted. "We appreciate everything you're doing," Vance said as he presented burgers to the troops. Protesters' shouts echoed through the station as the senior officials spoke to the National Guard present. According to Associated Press, the appearance, which also included White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, was a striking scene that illustrated the Republican administration's intense focus on the situation in Washington and its willingness to promote an initiative that has polarized the Democratic-led city.
So I wanted to come here, highlight what they're doing, say thank you in person, obviously pass out a few burgers, but most of all, just send a message to the American people. Look, we don't have to live like this. We do not have to allow our cities to be taken over by violence and by disorder and by chaos. You can actually do stuff. You can actually bring law and order to communities. You've just got to have the political willpower to do it. But I'll tell you, a couple of years ago when I brought my kids here, they were being screamed at by violent vagrants, and it was scaring the hell out of my kids. And one of the things that we've done already in Union Station in just 9 days is we've made it a place where people can walk around safely. They can bring their kids again. They can see this beautiful monument, the architecture. They can have a meal with their friends and their loved ones because, again, we brought some law and order back to Washington, D.C. Hey guys, at ease. Good to see you all. Come here. So, we decided to bring the Secretary of Defense and Stephen Miller to bring you guys some burgers. So we appreciate everything that you're doing. So, you guys bust your ass all day, we give you a hamburger. Not a fair trade, but we're grateful for everything you guys do.
And when I talk to all of them, Stephen, we've all had a chance to talk to them, they're proud of this mission. They're proud to be a part of making sure law and order is established here in the Capitol. We're resourcing them with everything they need, working with our law enforcement partners. So the National Guard, the Defense Department is proud to be standing with you and the President in ensuring we have a safe Capitol that is beautiful, that residents can come visit. We're committed to this mission just like the one at the southern border and in Los Angeles.
And the voices that you hear out there, those crazy communists, they have no roots, they have no connections to the city, they have no families they are raising in this city, they have no one that they are sending to school in this city, they have no jobs in this city, they have no connections to this community at all. But they're the ones who've been advocating for the 1%, the criminals, the killers, the rapists, the drug dealers. And I'm glad they're here today. Because me, Pete, and the Vice President are all going to leave here, and inspired by them, we're going to add thousands more resources to this city to get the criminals and the gang members out of here. We're going to dismantle those networks, and we're going to prove that a city can serve for the law-abiding citizens who live there. We are not going to let the communists destroy a great American city, let alone the nation's capital.
But if the President of the United States thinks that he has to extend this order to ensure that people have access to public safety, then that's exactly what he'll do. If he thinks he doesn't have to do that, obviously he'll make that determination. But what we're going to do is try to empower these guys to do as good of a job as possible to bring public safety and order back to Washington, D.C. Where are you from? Oh, great. Okay, awesome. We'll make sure you get a copy.
Yeah, we'll get a copy. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Got it.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thank you guys.
Crime statistics manipulated by the DC police?
Well, I think that crime statistics all over our country were massively underreported because a lot of people would pick up the phone, they'd call somebody, they'd try to get help, and nobody would show up. Oh, I already said hello to you. Hey, guys, how you doing? I'm highly skeptical that a majority of D.C. residents don't want their city to be to have better public safety and more reasonable safety standards within Washington, D.C. I don't know what poll you're talking about. Maybe the same polls that said Kamala Harris would win the popular vote by 10 points.
So where are y'all from? South Carolina. Okay, so pretty much everybody's in South Carolina. Okay, Charleston. Good to meet you. Appreciate what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Poland's defense minister said that a flying object that crashed and exploded in a cornfield in eastern Poland early Wednesday was identified as a Russian drone, calling it a provocation by Russia. According to Associated Press at a news conference in Warsaw, Defense Minister Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz accused Russia of provoking NATO during a crucial moment, as peace talks over the war in neighboring Ukraine are underway, the country's news agency PAP reported. Russia is provoking us once again, Kosiniak-Kamysz said, just as peace talks have given hope that the war has a chance of ending. Police said they received reports of the crash around 2 a.m. and found burned metal and plastic debris at the scene, near the village of Ozany. The blast broke windows in some nearby houses, but nobody was injured, PAP reported. Poland's Armed Forces Operational Command said Wednesday on social media that no violations of Polish airspace from neighboring Ukraine or Belarus were recorded overnight. Officials initially said the explosion may have been caused by a part of an old engine with a propeller. Lublin District Prosecutor Jegorz Trzywiecz told reporters several investigators, both civilian and military, were examining the crash site. Since Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine more than 3 years ago, there have been a number of intrusions into Polish airspace, raising alarm in the European Union and NATO member state and reminding people how close the war is.
Szanowni Państwo, witamy serdecznie na konferencji prasowej z wicepremierem.
Po raz kolejny mamy do czynienia z prowokacją Federacji Rosyjskiej, z rosyjskim dronem. Mamy do czynienia w szczególnym momencie, kiedy trwają dyskusje o pokoju. Mamy do czynienia w momencie, kiedy jest nadzieja na to, że ta wojna, którą wypowiedziała Rosja, wojna przeciwko państwu ukraińskiemu, ale także wojna zagrażająca bezpieczeństwo państw NATO, ma szansę się zakończyć. Rosja po raz kolejny prowokuje.
Bułgaria, te drony zachowały się w większej całości. Pytanie, czy
Pokazuje to, że strategia Rosji w momentach kluczowych, w momencie, kiedy jest dyskusja o pokoju, w momencie, kiedy prezydent Trump czyni wszystko, żeby do tego pokoju doprowadzić, a jest otwartość Ukrainy, żeby ten pokój zawrzeć, strategia prowokacyjna i wojna hybrydowa trwa. Rosja się do tego nigdy nie przyzna. Tak jak się nie przyznała do żadnego z 8 zdarzeń w Mołdawii, 3 zdarzeń w Rumunii, 3 zdarzeń na Litwie, 2 zdarzeń na Łotwie, 1 zdarzenia w Bułgarii z dronami. Już nie mówię o rakietach. Nie przyzna się do tego Federacja Rosyjska. Na razie. Ale